What up? Good morning, and welcome to another food review. I don't gotta start looking at the camera. Anyways, in all honesty, I've been to this place once before and wasn't. I wasn't happy. Um, it's called Finn's Bagels. It's right off Kapahulu. Little hole in the wall. I say hole in the wall. It connotates that it's grimy, but it doesn't look grimy. It's all new and shiny, and it's got cool mural, and it's not visibly unhygienic, I'll say. There are some things that are not something I enjoy, so we'll get into that later. But we have been here once before. The collective we of all the thoughts in my head, that's the we I speak of. And was just looking for a place for breakfast. This person had posted them going there, and I was like, oh cool, new bagel shop. I love bagels. Have a lot of delicatessen Jew food experience, having lived that life. I had a lot of Jewish family, and we hit the delicatessens hard. And bagels are like, might as well be the wedding ring you propose to your ladies with all the time. That's how much we love the bagels, the bagels. Anyways, I digress. So I feel like I know a decent amount about bagels. I think I make a pretty good bagel. So we went there, knowing nothing other than it's a new bagel spot. Walk in, it is pretty pricey. It's $3.75 for just a bagel. If you want cream cheese on that thing, it's going to cost you like $7.95. And then you get into the sandwiches. They have like bacon, egg, and cheese. They have a Finn's bagel, which is just your basic like cream cheese lox or your fish of choice. And, various vegetables, capers, standard issue stuff. That guy's $17.95. Then they have like a Chiave smoked brisket, which they do in-house. Did not try that. I actually didn't try any of that other than a plain bagel, because I was like, I can't pay that much for a breakfast sandwich right now. I just can't wrap my head around it, to pay that much for just like a bagel with cream cheese and veggies on it and lox. I understand it's Hawaii. I understand inflation. I'm in the business. I've been in the business a long time, and I know how much things cost a lot of the times. And I don't want this to be about like, I think you're doing your business wrong, because that's not what this is about. It's about the food. And so those things are all pertaining to food. And these are all the thoughts that I have in my head, because I'm not just a normal consumer just eating it and going like, this tastes good. It worries me, and it gets into my head about all the other stuff that goes behind it, because I am a cook. And I've been a cook for a long time, and honestly, I'm kind of sick of just seeing just reviews about places that are only care about the one thing. They don't understand. I feel like the reviewer doesn't understand food and doesn't understand how things get made, because they don't work in the business. They're just an influencer that goes to a place and goes, oh my God, this place is new, and look how pretty it is, and look at the food, it's so pretty, and oh wow, it tastes good. But they don't know anything about what this food is, or the history behind it, or what real good food should taste like. And they're only getting the facsimile food, and they have no real way to judge it, because maybe they don't know. And I blame ignorance for the most part, and being naive. And sometimes it might just be they're getting paid to have a good review. But I just don't like seeing commercials for places for a food review, which is all well and good if you're not talking about the food. If you're just like, this is the place, go here and you'll get this. But when these places are like, this is a life-changing thing, this is the best I've ever had, and this is the best, and it's always the best, and it's like, but if it's the only one you've ever had, or you've only had two of something and you've never had the other, how do you know it's the best? You can't say it's the best. And I get it's your opinion, but I just feel like there's just an overusage of how great things are, and that it's amazing, and then people go to these places and then they're either follow along with that, or they just don't create an opinion of their own, or they don't know food either and they don't like it and they don't understand it. Anyways, I'm a rambler, and some of the stuff I said don't make sense. Don't even listen to me, except for the food review stuff. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I got a plain bagel. That's what it boils down to. It could be a bagel pun. And honestly, it didn't taste that great. It was texturally okay. It was a little dense for my taste. Bagels tend to be a little denser, but there's an inherent like outside chew from the boiling, and the inside can be a little fluffy. In my opinion, I don't think you need to toast a good bagel. I think a good bagel could stand alone, just boiled, baked, cut in half and put stuff on it, or just eat it plain. So I'm not a huge fan of toasting bagels. So I just got a plain bagel because I'm like, I'm not going to get any of this other stuff, but I want to see if they have a good bagel. The bagel was not great. Like I said, texturally, it was okay. There was a good chew on the outside with the boiling. But there was this overwhelming, like, chemical taste of, like, chlorinated water, which is the best way I can describe it. So I was like, bummer, not going to eat here. Definitely not going to pay $17, $18 for a breakfast sandwich when I don't even like the bagels. So I didn't go back. Haven't been back. Started food reviewing again, and they messaged me and said, hey, review us. Innocently enough. And I was just like, man, I already been here and already didn't like it, what I had. And so I'll go back again, because I'll give everything 2 times, right? So I'm back. Went in, got a bagel. Okay. Just so I could have, thing, I just got another plain bagel, because I had a plain bagel before. Got a plain bagel. Also, because I had to, because I got to review it. Got to be honest. Got to try it, even though I'm not coming into this jaded. I tried really hard to not come into this jaded because of the last experience. So I got the Finn's bagel, cream cheese, lox, capers, onions, tomato, all that stuff. All right here. There was one lady waiting in line before me. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, so they've been open for half an hour. One lady before me. 3 young women at the counter. 1 working the register, 2 working the line, which is, the line is just, where you make the sandwiches. All chatting with each other. That's fine. I get greeted when I come in. Dead-eyed cashier. Get the transaction. Was trying to just buy some lox by itself because I just wanted to taste that with nothing else, which I'm not going to have to peel it off the sandwich because they don't sell it by the pound. Cashier didn't know that. The girl she asked was like, we don't really do that. It's all portioned for sandwiches. I was like, okay, fine. Then I'll get a sandwich. I was just going to get 2 plain bagels, a side of lox, and then try their cream cheese because they sell it by the pound, which it's like $9.95 a pound, which is a lot for cream cheese. I don't know how they make the cream cheese, but I'm assuming they're just mixing Philadelphia cream cheese or something else with stuff to make it their own. They have a lot of different flavors of cream cheese. So I start the timer as soon as I pay, right? Because that's when the ticket goes through. Transaction completed, timer started. From the time the ticket comes out of the machine to the time I got the bagel, being the only one there now, it was 6 minutes and 27 seconds, which is kind of a long time for toasting a bagel and slapping some stuff on it. It's not bad. I've had way worse, believe me. You try to run 10-minute ticket times. 10-minute ticket times is pretty good. So 6 minutes and 27 seconds is not bad. I do believe that could be faster, but that's just me. A lot of times you got to wait for the toaster, which they were doing. They have a little menu master oven, which was now my first issue with cooking, because that oven was smoking like a freaking whore in church. You know what I'm saying? It was clearly had issues going on with it. And they had no idea what was going on. Like, oh my God, why is it smoking? Which is my second red flag of that, is that I feel like these two women, however nice they may be and whatever, is they're not cooks. They're hired and they're just making bagels, which it irks me a little bit for a couple of reasons. The main reason is that I feel like if you're going to cook and you're going to hire somebody to cook, that you need to teach them, either you need to teach them how to cook and how to do the things they're doing so that they can understand and give it the respect and pride that it needs. Or, you know what I mean? Or you're going to hire somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing and can handle situations and can do these things. It's a Friday, possibly busy, and you have two people that look like they don't know what the fuck they're doing running the line, and there was no pride shown, right? There's an ignorance of what they were doing, and like it was just, and there was nobody there like guiding them. I don't know how long they've been working there. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it didn't look like long, and definitely didn't look like they knew what they were doing. Besides, slapping shit in an oven that looked like it was about to catch fire. When they had said, "Oh, it's smoking. I don't know what's going on," a gentleman came from the back, older guy, and was just like, "Oh yeah, it's smoking because of the grease in there from last night." And I was just like, so something spilled in there last night, or a bunch of grease, and when it happened, it didn't get addressed. B, you didn't clean it when you opened this morning. And 4, what? You don't understand that now I'm looking at this guy right here, because the smell in that place was of burning oil. And now, is this bagel probably going to taste like burning oil? We're going to find out. And nobody seemed to care. They went on about their thing, like checking their aprons and asking each other what the pockets in the aprons were for, and not really giving a shit about what was going on in there. I got told, like, sorry, it's taking so long. Our oven is being weird. And I was like, okay, cool. As I was waiting there, another lady walked in, made her order. At the same time her ticket came out of the machine, my bagel was ready. And they pulled it from the oven, sat it on the counter. And both of them proceeded to look at the new ticket, confused about what the things were on the ticket. 2 people, 1 ticket. Nobody messing with my bagel that just came out of the oven. Rule number 1, keep hot food hot, right? You want it to get to the customer in the best possible way, right? You want that hot food to come out, you put your shit on it, you wrap it, you get it good, right? And you want the customer to have it at its best possible moment. That's part of the pride I'm talking about. Nobody was concerned about that. My bagel sat there for another 30, 45 seconds while they fussed with the new ticket because they didn't understand something. And then they started finishing the bagel that I ordered. Another problem I have is that they only were wearing one glove while making prepared food, right? Ready to eat food needs to be handled with gloves at all times because it's not going to get cooked again. It's not going to hit heat again. So there's no way to kill that bacteria. If you get bacteria on it, you need to wear gloves at all times when handling prepared food that is ready to eat. If it was raw going into the oven, no problem. There's going to be, hopefully, you're going to cook it till it kills everything off. And then her ungloved hand was touching food and wrapping the sandwich. So if she's got anything on her hands, it's now on the sandwich. Normally, I would just be like, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to eat this because it was... If you can't do that, then I can't understand the things I can't see, right? That's always been my biggest thing is if I can't see it, right, just don't let me see it so I can eat the food. If I see it, then I can't eat there. It's why I don't go to Kuru Kuru Sushi anymore. I saw too many things, okay? And I can't eat there anymore. Anyways, so I now have the food. So let's try it. I didn't hit pause. Okay. Bagel. Here it is. I got the plain bagel. It's a good sized bagel. It's cut in half because she didn't understand the order, that it was just a plain bagel. Again, I don't give a shit that it's cut in half because I'm going to eat it anyways. It's got a good shine. I already took some bites, as you'll see, because I forgot to fucking hit the record on the camera. It's been a morning. So here we go. Just so you can see that I did eat it on camera. That taste is still there. It's not as strong as before, but the only thing that I can think of it being is the water. Or maybe the salt. But it's less of that taste than it was the first one I had. But it's still there. And I don't know what to tell you. It's baked well. It's got a good bottom, you know. It's got like, it's what you want to hear when you make a bagel. I got bagel crumbs all over me. But that flavor, and I guess, you know, you cover it with cream cheese and all that stuff, you're probably not gonna really taste that. But when you have just a plain bagel, like some people like to have a plain bagel, it's gonna shine that flavor, and it's unpleasant. So let's get into the sandwich. So I will give them this, that these things are monsters. It's a really big sandwich. The issue I have with that is that really big sandwiches are almost impossible to eat. Hold on. Really big sandwiches are almost impossible to eat. I'm a big dude. That don't even fit in my mouth. But the other thing is that, like, I don't know if you need that much cream cheese. I know that there's like a lot of places on the East Coast that are like, we're putting a fucking half pound of cream cheese on this shit. But it's like, that's a lot of cream cheese, right? And it's just too much because you got to be balanced, right? Now, if you can see that there's stuff in here, right? There's the lox, okay? But where is it on this side, right? It should be even all the way through. And this much cream cheese on it is like, you're just gonna taste the cream cheese. And because cream cheese is fatty and it's cold, it's gonna coat your mouth, right? So you're not gonna get all those flavors right away. You're just gonna get cream cheese because they put it on both sides. Now, if there was just this much cream cheese on the bottom and none on the top, That would be a little better, because then you would have like a more balanced bite going on, because you would be getting that creamy fatty, and then you get all these capers, right? And you'd get that red onion, and you get the tomato to kind of cleanse it afterwards with that smoked fish. Then you go back to getting fatty, smoky, and all that good stuff, right? But you've now encased all that in cream cheese, so it's like a little fat bomb. But let's just try to take a bite. Okay. Let's actually, you know what? I'll taste this fish by itself. Okay. So here we go. This is house made, right? They cure it themselves. They got a little aging case that they make. There's something going on there that I don't like. Maybe the wood, I don't know if this is cold smoked or if it's just cured. It doesn't have any, I don't feel like it has any smoke on it. But it's all right, not overly salty, good texture. I think it can be sliced a little thinner. I think when you're having a cured fish like this, it's better to go a little bit thinner, because you're basically eating raw fish, and the texture, when it gets thicker, can be a little like too bouncy, and not like sushi, like when it's like that, just that rawness, and because the salt is drawing out moisture and it gets a little chewy. And I think the thicker it is, the more you're going to get that chew. It's not bad. It's not the best I've ever had, but it's not terrible. Let's have it all. There's all kinds of little microgreens on here, and tomatoes, capers. Let's take a bite. Yeah, it's like I can taste the things in there, but it's just fucking cream cheese, dude. You know what I mean? And I think that's another pitfall that some places fall into, where it's like, let's put all this shit on it. I say shit a lot. I don't mean, it's food. I put all this stuff on this sandwich, and it's gonna look great, and people will be like, oh wow, holy shit, fucking awesome sandwich, dude. And then you try to bite it, and this happens, where it's like everything squeezes out and it all drops or whatever. And then it's unbalanced. It just tastes like a mouthful of cream cheese with a little couple of things mixed in. And as a person that makes sandwiches regularly for a living, and just because I enjoy sandwiches, I've learned a lot about balancing things. I've learned a lot in this past year, especially thanks to some really cool people, about balancing and the way you eat something. And when that care isn't thought about or put into it, you can taste it. When you know what you're doing, when you know what it should taste like. And that again goes back to what I think some of these food reviews don't understand, is that they just don't care. They're looking for what's going to look good on their Instagram, what's going to get them views, and it's going to be pretty food that looks great, but it doesn't taste the same as it looks most of the time, because you're not getting the right balance of stuff. Again, individually, these things are all fine, you know. But when you mash them all together and cover it with this much cream cheese, you can't taste anything really, except the cream cheese. This is the everything bagel. It's good. Like, I can't taste that. I got a lot of, that chemical's not present, but it's all I'm tasting is cream cheese. We get the red onion. There's the microgreens on here. Kind of come through at the end, the tomato. But for the most part, it's bagel-y with a lot of cream cheese. So, I'm gonna use an old apron. I don't know what to tell you. Me personally, I don't have to go back to Finn's ever again. That was my second time. It's okay. The bagels are, in my opinion, just regular. I don't think they deserve the New York hype. I don't think that that's the only reason you should want to get a bagel is because it's from New York. I think there are other bagel places on the island that make a better bagel, and they make them here fully from scratch. And it's a bit pricey for what you get. And also, thinking about price, think about when the people make your food, right? I'm willing to pay money for something that is well crafted, well thought out, has been taken pride and respect in what they're doing. That's worth the money. Because when you food cost something, labor and all that stuff goes into food costing. As well as the labor it takes to create the dish, not just the ingredients that go into it. So when I see a $17.95 cream cheese and lox sandwich, and it's being made by people that really don't give a shit, it's not worth that money to me. And this is just my honest opinion. I'm not trying to rally against fans. I have nothing against them. I'm just saying what I saw and what also goes into what the customer's paying. Because cleanliness, respect for the food, respect for what you're doing, knowledge for what you're doing, all goes into the price of your food. And if you're charging that much for frozen flown-in bagels, and you're so hyped about making this stuff and so proud of it, that everybody in that place should be proud of it. And the people making the food should be proud of it. And if you don't have people up front doing that, it's not worth the money. And that's all there is to it. It's an average bagel. It's an average experience. And if you want to go there, go there. That's my review.